And finally, the issue on risk communication. I just have to say right now, we have to do a better job. I think we've had a number of key people in this government who have tried very hard to do a good job, and I think they have. But we have a problem with the fact that we think we're going to scare people, and so we're always couching things in certainty for which certainty does not exist. And we have to start being honest about that. That is different than being scary. We don't really understand issues. If you saw Sunday's LA Times, you saw David Willman's piece in there on fever. Now, the WHO report that was in the New England Journal said 87% of cases had a fever in their case series, but there was a problem with that in a little bit because you had to have fever to be part of a case definition or be found positive in addition. So there was a certain self-selection. I mean, I'm not saying how big it was. Maybe it was minimal, but it was there. I have personally heard from clinicians with whole series of cases where people did not ever present through the entire time from the admission to the treatment center until they died that ever had a documented 105 or 101.5 fever. They never did. Well, now we have focused so heavily on fever for screening in our clinics and so forth. What if somebody presents and doesn't have a fever? What happens then when the media gets all over that and said, you told us there would be a fever, and you told us that, but now this patient's been found to really have Ebola but didn't have a fever. You didn't know what you were talking about. Now is the time to anticipate that and say, you know, most patients clearly are going to have a fever. We show that. But we don't know about this group, and we're trying to learn more about it. Tell them what you might have happen, and that's how you're going to, number one, learn about it and not feel like you can't talk about it. And two, then when it happens, if it happens, and I believe it will happen, you don't have to feel like somehow you didn't tell them the complete truth.